Shut up and sit down.
Oh, wow. Welcome to the Ken Frederick Podcast, special number 15, Top 5 Comic Book Badasses.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. If you just stumbled across us on the interwebs, check us out at kfpodcast.com, at kfpodcast on Facebook, at Ken Fred Podcast on the Twitter, at Ken Frederick Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, Reddit, Grindr,
whatever else is out
Tinder.
there.
Another part of the show where we name as
We'll
many
be
social
swiping
media
left on
sites
Tinder.
as you can imagine.
So,
Who are you?
I'm Ken.
You're the host.
I'm the host.
Who's that little cheese nugget over there?
What's up?
We got broccolini 2 meals over here.
2 meals?
Brock 2 Mills Atkinson. This is the nickname, 2 Mills. What's up, 2 Mills? That would be his Indian name. You know what I mean?
I found out I don't have a drop of Native American blood in me.
I thought your dad had it in him.
That was all a lie.
2 Mills. All right.
And who are you?
Oh, me. I'm that bald jackass. A.K.A. the talent.
Talent.
I'm your host of DB's Comic Con.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, I'll start making fun of myself.
It's no fun if we can't do it.
I know, he just took the fun out
I
of it.
took it away. I took the bullying away from you.
No,
You must have been paying attention at some seminar or something.
apparently.
So what's today's topic for this special YouTube video?
We figured we haven't done a real top 5 in a while, so was it Brock that came up with the badasses?
Yeah, because I'm such a badass.
He is,
Oh.
he is our resident
B.A.
badass.
Brock Atkinson.
Yeah, that's true.
And we decided to do our favorite comic book badasses.
So let's level set the rules. Why don't we do
Oh,
that
shit.
first?
I should have done that first.
Yeah, we should have done it before we picked them.
Well, just we'll just make sure we're all on the same page. So we said, of course, it has to be a comic book character.
Correct.
Nobody from a movie, Justin, that hasn't been in an actual comic. You over there, I'm looking at you. I don't know what you're
I think
doing.
I'm okay.
Okay.
He's
Just
fine.
no one from a movie. It can be a hero or villain, right? Sit it, or just a side character. Doesn't matter what it is. Man or woman.
Yes.
And we said we're not really worried about power levels.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You
It's more of
can
a
be-
personality trait.
Yeah, it's more of
Yeah.
a personality trait. You can be as badass as you want with no power, or as bad as you want with mega power. So
Mega power.
wherever you're at,
All right. I think we should do everyone's 5s, then 4s, then 3s, and 2s, and 1.
whatever you want to do.
All right.
That's cool.
All right, let's do everyone's 5s. So, Justin, how about you go your number 5 first?
Good idea.
Invincible.
Oh.
Now, do you read Invincible? Because where did you get this from?
I read the first 100.
I feel like right away off the bat. Let me just throw the yellow flag out there like this soccer.
I read the first 100.
Did you really?
Yes.
Because I feel like you just.
I remember
did a
he torrented him, and I
top
got mad at
10
him.
Top 10 badasses. A Google search. And you're like Invincible. This will give me some street cred. Putting this one down there.
I never.
Poor Justin.
I thought it was a good reference. I never saw him as a badass. I thought he was more of a goody two shoes. But that's just me.
It's all right.
All I know is he used to like beat people to a bloody pulp.
Yeah,
And
there's parts
heroes,
of him.
most heroes don't do that. I thought that was pretty cool.
But,
Well, all right. Well, Invincible. Okay.
All right.
Not what
He's
I.
number 5. He's not my number 1.
Okay. All right. Not what I expected, but fine. I'll stop giving you a hard time
broccolini.
for your mom stops listening.
My number 5 is New 52 Aquaman.
Ooh.
Yes.
Interesting.
Not
New
hook
fif-
hand Aquaman.
Not New 52.
Not hook hand. Specifically New 52
Because he
Aquaman.
eats fish.
He eats fish.
The only-
Issue number 1 where he stops at like bank robbery and they're
Yeah.
shooting at him and it makes a little cut on him, then he messes those dudes
They
up.
didn't change his powers or anything. They just explained them better. That make him as much of a joke.
And they made fun of that, like how people used to make fun of him about talking
Right.
to fishes and all that.
Yeah.
But the line that sticks out to me most is in the early run of that Justice League from New 52. Whenever the team's first getting together, he's like, "We need a leader. I nominate myself." So he's with all these like super powered guys, way more powerful than him, and he just, basically said, "I'm
All right.
better than all of you."
Well, he leads a nation and a group of people, so he
He's a
should.
king.
Yeah. So,
He is a king.
Not just a fish riding goof, like Super Friends made him out to be.
Yeah, seriously. All right, Donald. Who you got?
Me, my number 5 is Hal Jordan. Green Lantern.
Okay.
I think anybody that can will his own ring, take on the Sinestro Corps one-on-one, take on Blackest Night, you name it, this guy's done it. Turned into a mega supervillain and almost killed the whole entire DC universe.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of done the whole spectrum of good, bad, everything. Rule breaker, you know, ultimate hero. I just think I think Al Jordan's a total badass.
Okay. My number 5 is Michonne from The Walking Dead.
Oh, interesting.
I think that her ability to...
Yours are going to be all these really obscure ones, aren't they? They're going to be all like...
No.
It's going to be Thanos and then, and then a bunch of like...
Wait a minute, Don.
Okay, Michonne's a badass.
Michonne...
What about Pirate Michonne?
See, I'm going with Michonne from the Governor Saga, where she's tied up and raped and like broken down by the
really disturbing scene.
and then her like just coming back and like drilling his nuts to a board and like gouging his eye out with a spoon. Like that showed that like she was not going to be broken.
That's badass, right?
And she was able to, you know.
Comic book Michonne's way better than TV Michonne.
Definitely.
Way better than TV Michonne, who's just lame.
Yeah. Comic book Michonne is such an empowered, like...
female character.
Yeah. She's the most badass next to Carl, I think, in the comic book.
Yeah.
And, so...
she's good.
Yeah, so I like her.
All right.
Justin, number 4.
Negan.
All right.
Why? See, I think Negan's I think he's a coward.
He just doesn't care.
I think he's a... I hate
he had
Negan.
to do... Like, I don't know. I didn't read past the Negan saga, so where they talk about his backstory and how he got to where he was. So, like, I don't know that. I don't know that version
I stopped
of Negan,
reading it after issue.
But, like,
something.
he had to do something to get all those people to follow him, and it was fear.
Yeah.
And they feared him. And after a while, I think he kind of did become a coward when the chips were down and Rick and the crew were really
Rick
going
kicked
after
his
him.
ass.
But I think before that point, I think he was a pretty big badass.
Yeah, and again, another character that comic book Negan's way better than TV show Negan.
Yeah.
Although I do like Jeffrey D. Morgan.
I do. Well, I like the actress who plays Michonne, but
Yeah.
you know, it's lame AMC versions of.
There's
of
only so much you can do on TV.
Yeah, you have to say shit all the time.
Yeah.
Stopping that shit, this shit, that shit. It's not as good as Negan.
All right, Brock, number 4.
Daredevil.
I almost had Daredevil on my list. I agree.
He's fearless. He's the man without fear.
He is.
He's the only superhero who's known for what he can't do, not what he can do. And he'll get in there and mix it up with anybody, even though he's blind. And he doesn't really have any other real powers.
I like that. He's known for what he can't do.
Yeah, you like that?
That was nice.
Yeah, no, I like Daredevil. I liked when remember when he joined the Avengers in the New Avengers run right before like the Siege storyline and all that, and all the other, and it was like that street level team of Avengers.
Yeah.
And some of the ones who didn't know him, like I remember they did a one scene where he was like taking on all these. Red Skull's daughter was attacking, and he was like fighting them all off, and they were like, "Wow, this guy's really good." And they were like stunned by him, and like Luke Cage was like, "Yeah, I've been telling you that." Like, you know, we should have had him on the team. And they were like, "Wow, he just took out all those guys by himself." And they were all like, that was a cool part because they were, and Wolverine and him were like, "Yeah, we know. Yeah, he's tough.
We've been around him.
We've been around it."
All right, Donald, number 4.
Speaking of the Invincible line. Invincible comic. My number 4 is the villain Thrag from Invincible.
Now remind me which one Thrag
He's
is.
the one. He's the Vulture Mike King who has the little porn stash mustache.
Yeah.
If you've read further out, because he doesn't come out till I think later on in Invincible past 100. He is. I was trying to add a villain to my list, right? So I went to like General Zod and all these guys, and then it hit me when I remembered him because if you read. The shit that guy did, he was so mean. He takes Invincible's brother, punches his jaw off, and then rips his arm off and leaves him like for dead for like Invincible to find him. Then he fights that dude Battle Beast, who's like a big white werewolf kind of guy. Yeah. Kills him, wipes out his home planet, and then wears the guy as like a pelt, like around his thing. Like he has Battle Beast like wearing him. He's a total. He impregnated like all these Earth women that have all these kids, Voltramite kids. I mean, he is the definition of a badass, mean villain who has like Kryptonian level strength, punching holes. Like if you Google his images, there's like one of him flying through like the good guys, and he has a hand through one guy's heart, ripping off a face. You know, I mean, the way they draw. You said like Invincible was like. Thrag was like really.
Thrag's like 11. Invincible's like 4.
It made it so cool that when the point got into the Invincible storyline where he had to team up with Invincible and like Invincible shows up to fight those guys and he was like, I did bring help, and it was him. You're like, oh, this is awesome. Like he's gonna have that guy on his side. He had to like tone him down from killing people. He fucked up that dinosaur dude, that T-Rex guy.
Oh yeah.
He's a great character.
Didn't that T-Rex guy go to bite him and shatter all his teeth?
He went to bite him, and he bit his arm and shattered all of his teeth.
Yeah.
And he like reached into his thing, like pulled out his throat, and I mean, it's just he's a
for what that book looks like, how like the guy that does the art, it looks very like bright in its bright, colorful imagery,
and it's violent.
It is so gory in parts,
so and deep. I mean, Invincible gets raped.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, it's very violent and deep. I mean. And then Thrag looks like a 70s porn star.
I may have to go back and start reading this.
It looks like Freddie Mercury. Yeah, he is Freddie Mercury. It's great. He's an interesting character. You should definitely read him.
All right. So it's me, number 4.
Number 4.
All right, this is kind of cliche, but I'm going to use it anyways. I'm going to go with the Punisher as number 4.
I have no problem with it.
He's always one of my favorite characters.
He's one of your favorite. He's a badass.
I love reading like War Journal when Jim Lee was doing the art in the 90s, and just him messing up mob bosses. I like when they evolved him. They had to move out of New York and like went to the West Coast. Like I just always liked Frank Castle. I like the story, and I've always been a big fan. So
no, he's cool. I liked him in the Civil War recent stuff. When he was on Cap's side, then he just started killing mob villains. Yeah. He was like, Cap was like, no, and like beat him up and was like, you're out of here. I knew I shouldn't have had you on here. Like, what were you thinking you were going to do? And you had the Punisher on your team.
Yeah, he murdered Jack-o'-lantern, and Cap's like, what are you doing? He's like, you told me to eliminate him.
He told me to get rid of these guys, and I killed them. Like, what do you mean? Why would I keep him around for any other thing?
That's why I think I liked him, because at that time, I mean, and still Marvel really doesn't murder people in their comics, but like, Punisher.
Even toned down Punisher on Spider-Man the Animated Series was still cool.
Oh yeah,
because he wasn't killing anybody, but he was still no nonsense, like shooting out weapons out of that van and just taking everybody out.
And I also like too that he wouldn't like give the money that he stole from these mob bosses back or give it to the police. He just used it to fund his own murder spree, and that's what was always great about it. So
almost like a villain.
Yeah, he is a villain. Like you can't murder as many people as he did and not be a villain. But
I think every movie version of him, except for Dolph Lundgren, has been pretty cool.
I actually like that Warzone where he's
Punisher Warzone,
and it's just over the top nonsense, and Jigsaw's in it, and it's just
I never saw that.
It's so.
Who played him in that one?
Oh, I can't remember.
Is that? Yeah, I can't remember either. But the new guy who plays him is great too.
Shane from yeah,
he's great in that too. I can't wait
Burt
for his
Bacharach,
solo series. All right, Justin, number 3.
So this one kind of.
There we go.
Is a boundary is a on the fence whether it's comic movie.
And this is your number 3.
Number 3.
Here we go.
I know
his eyebrows are going up.
I know the character from the movie, but it is a comic character.
Okay,
Blade.
Well, yeah, of course, Blade's counts. A comic book.
Yeah, but I mean,
counts.
But the reason I know him is
from Wesley Snipes.
From Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. You don't know any of them. Blade counts. Blade's books are good. Yeah.
I've never read any of his books.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I've ever read just a Blade book. I've read them in other stuff.
You read them in like Midnight Suns and different things like that. Team up books.
He's got a pretty good body count.
Yeah. I mean, the first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes in it, that's phenomenal.
That set the bar. That was like the best comic book movie.
Yeah, that's some good scenes when he goes in there and kills all.
It still could be arguably, it's still up there.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's
better
really,
than any
good.
of the X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
The story was good. The only thing that doesn't really hold up is the effects.
Yeah, that's about it. But
they're still cool. The sword is awesome.
Yeah. All right, Broccolini, number 3.
Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I knew a turtle was gonna make
I
that.
thought
list.
Casey Jones would pop up.
Casey Jones? No.
I was wondering which one was gonna make it. I knew it. I was sitting here thinking there's gonna be a turtle on this list.
It's gotta be Raph.
So why Raphael?
He's not only the badass, he's the asshole of the group.
True.
He's just a jerk.
What's your favorite comic book run of him, though?
There was a Casey Jones and him had a crossover book comic that Image published called Body Count, where the two of them just went around and like Casey Jones was like the voice of reason, and Raph was spending like the first couple issues trying to figure out how to break the part of the trigger off the guard of the trigger so he could get his finger on it so he could start using guns.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because his big turtle finger.
Yeah, he couldn't use it with his big turtle finger.
That's funny.
Apparently, Don didn't want to help him out with that at all.
Not me.
Donatello.
I'd help him. That's a good one.
Yeah, there was also the Eric Larson run on Ninja Turtles that made him a complete badass, which I don't think is considered in canon anymore. But in the first issue of that, they were messing around with some alien tech, and it blows up and burns Raphael's face off. And then he wore Casey Jones' mask for the rest of the series.
Dark?
Yeah.
Turtle comics get dark. Didn't they kill Donatello?
Yeah, like it was that same issue, I think.
Is he back?
Yeah, he's back. That was a previous run, too. Then they killed him in this current run, too, and brought him back already.
Poor Donatello.
He's the expendable one, I guess.
When he broke his shell, so he couldn't do anything until it healed or something. He's fragile, but he made Metalhead already, so.
Yeah.
Nice.
They kind of played off what happened in the Image book with that current thing, too. Because he got eaten by Mako the shark from Savage Dragon.
Jesus, these are not your
father's turtles or whatever they say.
No.
All right, Donald, number 3.
My number 3 is from the DC universe. It's Cassandra Cain.
And that's what, Batgirl?
That's Batgirl. Now she's known as
Batgirl.
Orphan.
She's David Cain and Lady Shiva's daughter. He was like a League of Assassins. Lady Shiva's like the known badass of women martial artists in the DC universe, and Cassie, her daughter, is even better than her. Like, I loved her run as Batgirl. When she had the stitched up mask. The
costume was great.
And the costume, she was such a badass. And now this rebirth version of her, where she goes by Orphan, she's amazing. I mean, the last run when they fought the League of Assassins, and she took out almost the entire thing on her own, exhausted. She's total. She doesn't talk. She's like this like frightened kid. She reminds me a lot of like X-23. I don't know which one came first because I didn't research that.
She did.
Which one came first?
They were close.
I feel like they're very similar characters, but I feel like Cassie's
She reminds me of Snake Eyes.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
She's awesome. She's awesome in the fact that even Batman admits that like he's not entirely sure if he could take her if she really turned on him. Like, he has said that to Batwoman in the book. Like, if she really goes rogue, and he's like, "Well, you could stop her," and he's like, "Maybe. It depends on the situation." You know, like it's not entirely sure that you know. So I just think she's cool. I think she's one of my favorites.
That's cool.
All right, my number 3 is Rorschach from The Watchmen.
Oh, I like that pick.
I think that he is like him solving the murder and just basically realizing what's the best for mankind isn't what is the right thing. So he's even keeping with his, convictions when he's going up to try to kill Ozymandias and stop him from destroying the world. Mm-hmm. I just thought, and also like whenever he's locked up in the prison and all those people think that they're going to kill him, he's like,
that's a great scene.
You're just locked in here with me.
The crime boss and all that, and when he makes that's one of the best lines in a movie and a comic. You're not, I'm not locked in here with you're locked in here with me.
Yeah,
and they're all like shit.
And everyone like, and then like when they arrest him and he's got like lifts in his shoes and he's like a ginger and he's like and he just looks like Opie and everyone like thinks like this is the Rorschach and then he goes fucking crazy in the jail.
Didn't he throw that guy's face in like a French fryer or something like that, or threw it on someone in the prison scene?
I think so.
I know they did it in the movie. I wasn't sure if that was the comic book.
The scene, like in the one scene in the comics where he finds the person that's been like capturing little girls and molesting them and feeding them to the dogs, and
he brutalizes.
That guy. That's like back in the 80s too. Whenever you didn't see comics go that far or mainstream, like
the movie scene of that was rough.
Well, the comic I feel is a little bit worse. What's his name? Alan Moore can really tell a story with some of that stuff. But so that's why I picked Rorschach.
Rorschach's cool. He's a badass. I so want Rorschach to show up in this Rebirth universe some way, shape, or form, and see what they do with him. I would love to see more of that character teaming up with other characters here and see what they do with it. He's too good to be wasted to never be used again.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people feel that way, that like they never want to use him again, but I feel like he needs.
I would like. Part of me would like to see him do it, but I know that no one else is going to do it as well as that book.
It's true.
It's true, but I mean, I take what I can get. I think my thing is, if it's not as good, then you still have the original. I don't feel it ruins it for you in any way. I'm not one of these people that it ruins things.
Ruins my childhood.
Yeah.
But
Be like,
No,
oh,
it's gonna be an alternate timeline version.
I didn't
of
care for it. I'll
Yeah.
go read the original, but maybe it'll be cool.
all right,
Number
Justin.
2. He's smiling. This is gonna okay. This is gonna be great.
Hulk. Oh, come on, I have a limited.
I get it. I mean,
no one can see you running. You're raising your
yeah,
hand.
that was his sign. I get it. I mean, like Planet Hulk stuff, he was pretty badass up there, but I don't know. Hulk always just sort of bores me. I get it. I
See,
get it.
I've always liked Hulk. The inner turmoil of a man fighting his inner demons that in his rage that was given to him by an abusive father.
Oh, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk was phenomenal. I mean, when he returns to Earth and I'm going to kill every hero that sent me away in his planet, he's a total badass there. I mean, that's
true.
That's hardcore.
I mean, if you even go Future and Perfect, where he turns into Maestro and then he has to fight himself. Like,
I mean, at that time, Juggernaut was with the X-Men, and he lights up Juggernaut when he lands to go after Xavier.
Yeah.
And like you're like, oh shit, Juggernaut's with the X-Men, and he just destroys him, makes him look foolish, and then captures Xavier. What he does to Black Bolt in that is pretty cool. He's screaming at him. He's just walking until the hand goes over his mouth.
Yeah.
Because he's like taking the full blast of it. Then he just cups the hand around his mouth like,
It was great.
shut up. And then that was the end of Black Bolt. That was great. They're good. They're good. We like it.
All right.
all right, Broccolini. Number 2.
Deathstroke.
All right.
Specifically, Identity Crisis Deathstroke when he took on the entire Justice League.
That was good.
And
Is
beat
that
him.
when he stole Batman's contingency plans for all the Justice League?
No, he didn't really
He
have
had
him
his
there.
own.
He had his own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He, like shot Flash in the knee and just started. Isn't that when Dr. Light hired him?
Mm-hmm. And
he
he
just-
cut all of Green Arrow's arrows. He just he swung at him. He's like, "How you missed?" He's like, "No, I didn't." And he cut all his arrows in his quiver.
He like attacked him and he swung the sword and Green Arrow ducked and he cut all the arrows. And then Green Arrow goes like this and there's nothing there and then he just knocks him out.
He got Aquaman into a building because he was like sensitive to light, and he lured him into a dark building, set off a flash grenade, completely blinded him. Mm-hmm. It was crazy.
And now Batman or Superman weren't there for this one, or Wonder Woman, but it was like Flash and Arrow and a bunch of those guys like that. And he took them out. Like Dr. Light hired him. Another supervillain hires this guy.
Because
to
Dr.
protect
Light
him.
had just gotten his memory restored or something like that.
From what, Brother Eye?
I think so.
I forget what that was. They restore his memory, and you find out that that's when they were going around brainwashing everybody.
Yeah, they were using, was it Zatanna?
They're using Zatanna to wipe out everyone's
Oh, yeah.
mind.
And
then
they
they-
didn't tell Batman or Superman because they knew they'd be against
And
it.
they were
Well, the
totally
twist was they did
pissed.
it to Batman.
Yeah.
They revealed that at the end of it.
Because when they told Batman, he flipped out and was like, "What do you mean?" And they were like, "Zip," and wiped his mind too. That's when Ralph Dibny's wife was raped. The story was Dr. Light shows up at the Watchtower, and the elongated man's wife's there by herself, and
Yeah.
he rapes her. It's a really horrible scene.
Yeah.
And when they show up, they see it happening, and they're like beating the shit out of him, and then they don't know what to do, and that's why Dr. Light was so
Dumb.
is because they wiped his
And
memory.
they
forgot
set him
what
up
he
as a
was.
fall guy for the Teen Titans to build their confidence.
Yeah, he was like a guy they would send after him to like build up their confidence because he was so dumb because they mind wiped him. And when Batman found out about
was
it,
pissed.
they were like, "What?" And they were like, "All right, mind wipe you too." And then
And then he found out it went crazy.
if you want to read an awesome comic,
was a
read
good-
Identity Crisis. It was really good. When they try and figure out
I have the trade. I'll let you borrow it.
who
I gotta-
murdered his
Michael Turner art.
wife and all that, I mean, all that stuff's
And
great.
Some a well-known author
I
wrote that.
I know the twist. I think I know the twist. I think
Yeah.
I've read part of this.
It's really cool.
What
Who
was
Those
it?
are
did write
footprints.
He did like a base. He
It was like an actual novelist.
Yeah.
I believe.
Who wrote the Identity Crisis? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
I'm sure
He'll
he'll
look it
tell
up.
us.
But cool.
Michael Turner did the artwork.
Yeah.
We
Very
went
good
off on that one.
Yeah.
Deathstroke,
Rabbit hole.
awesome.
All right, Dawn, number 2.
All right, now I'm getting into favorites, getting down to it again here. So my number 2 is Batman. I think Batman. I mean, if you're going to argue that Batman's not a badass, I tell you to go back to 1997, read that JLA book, which is sitting right over there, when they bring them all back together with the White Martian attack and all that. That's a phenomenal Batman story where those White Martians take out the entire Justice League, and you don't know they're Martians, and Batman figures it out and kills like 90% of the team, takes them all out. And then what's that?
I said, oh, geez.
It's great. And then the scene where they're all, each Justice League member beats somebody, and Batman comes pulling 7 of them along, and Flash goes, only 7? Oh, wow, you're slipping. And they were like, Jesus, he took out 7 of them. And then that's one of my favorite lines in a comic, is when the alien says, I don't understand it, this guy's just a man, and Superman, all chained up with kryptonite around him, said, yeah, but he's the most dangerous man on the planet, and you underestimated him. And then just that scene, the place starts blowing up and all that. It's great. It's great classic Batman stuff. It's stuff I hope to see in movies. I think Batman is the guy. Well, obviously not the guy, because he's not number 1 on my list.
Brad Meltzer is who wrote.
That's right.
All right.
I didn't get any flack for having Batman. I thought I'd get some flack for him.
No, I'm fine with that.
He's a legit badass.
All right, my number 2 badass is Dr. Doom.
I had a feeling that guy.
I love Dr. Doom.
Me too.
I love a guy that he went to hell to save his mother from Mephistopheles or the devil, and he had then end up, because he couldn't save her, wore her skin so he could get out of hell. Like the storylines where him basically bending. He bent technology and mysticism to his will to get what he wants, and that's what he thinks a perfect world will be. Just under his rule.
Mm-hmm.
He has good intentions.
He does. And he just doesn't think anyone else can do them as well as he can.
Yeah.
He was able to lift Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was worthy.
He's worthy. He's true in intentions. He just has a different way of doing them. But I think that they play down his ability to... so the technology they always show, because he's rivaled with Mr. Fantastic, but he's on par. He's pretty close to Doctor Strange in mysticism. Like
Blackhearts.
Yeah, he was up for the running of the Sorcerer Supreme for a while. Then also too,
technology's up there with Iron Man.
Yeah, he was also able to steal the Beyonder's power in Secret Wars 2. So he's got even a cosmic level ability to always come out ahead.
All this is telling us is that it's a damn shame they can't use him in the MCU.
Exactly.
Because if you were to move on from Thanos after this, Doom would be a great story to go into. Picking up fragments of the Infinity Gauntlet afterwards and manipulating it to his own thing. He's a great villain, and he's useless in the Fox universe.
Oh, totally
they turn him
useless.
into a guy who can throw electricity or look like a rock man, or they ruin him all the time. They never do any of the stuff he's with.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do Dr. Doom and Fox.
No, not at all.
And he would be great.
He'd be amazing. So,
We're up to our
All
number
right, let's do
ones.
this. I'm going to play a little game.
All
A
right.
little contest.
this is easy.
We're each going to take a turn and try to guess the person's number 1.
I guarantee you're not going to guess mine.
So we're going to start with Justin's going first here. So who do you think Justin's number 1 is?
I don't know, because he doesn't. I'm not sure.
I'm going to go with Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And who you take a guess?
I'm gonna go Superman.
Who's yours?
I'll say Thanos.
Let's have it.
Punisher.
Oh, that's God. It's a strange one. I didn't think that at all.
I didn't, because I don't have.
And let me just tell you, you can't see his face when he says it. It's the most disappointed looking face, like he just said, "The world's ending." It's a Punisher.
Punisher's all right.
Because Ken already had him, and he,
That's our first repeat,
he's
though.
kind of a cliche, but you know.
Okay.
And again, I know him from the movie universes. I don't know him from the comics. I never really read any Punisher comics.
He's a legitimate badass in all
Except
mediums.
for when he was involved in Civil War, when I read that whole Civil War run.
Okay.
So
Which he's now we're gonna guess Brock's.
Brock says we're never gonna guess.
I'm
it
gonna go
since it's
first.
obscure.
All right.
I'm gonna say Usagi Yojimbo.
No.
It's too easy.
Give me somebody.
I bet it's the guy from Captain Carrot that murdered one of the teammates from Captain Carrot.
Go ahead.
Galactus.
Nope.
Let's have it.
Baron Karza from Micronauts.
Oh my god, I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
What?
You don't know who that is? It's the guy. He looks like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He killed entire planets of people just because he wanted to. No reason, just bored.
Yeah, we would have never have guessed that one. We could have had about 9 million guesses.
He's probably got the biggest body count in all of comics.
Uh,
Woo.
Who do you think has more?
Thanos killed half the universe.
Killed the entire universe, didn't he?
He killed him almost the entire microverse. And there's a lot more people there.
No, it's not.
All right.
Baron Karza.
If you say so,
I'll take your word for it.
we'll take your word for it. He's the most killer of the killers.
The biggest killer of the killers.
Just the biggest jerk.
All right,
All right, you gonna guess
Dawn's
mine?
is Optimus Prime.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll go Megatron.
Havoc.
All right, you're all three wrong.
Whoa.
The person, when I thought about this long about who I think the total badass is, and this is probably pretty cliche,
Lobo.
it just comes out to me to Wolverine.
Okay.
I thought about this long and hard, and I wanted to put like other people on there, and I've read Wolverine. Now, I'm not talking about Wolverine nowadays or any of that stuff, but I'm talking about when I read 90s Wolverine, reading his comic, reading the X-Men. There just wasn't a person. When I think badass, there wasn't a person I think more than him. When the cards are against him, he was just I missed Wolverine. I missed that Wolverine. Even if you want to go Old Man Logan, I mean him versus Hulk. What he does to Hulk cuts him from the inside out. It's I don't like that storyline, but
I guess the last 10 years of Wolverine, like running the
sucked.
school, and
Yeah.
like they've really matured him.
They've
and
matured
and
him.
grounded him.
So if like Brock's level set and said New 52 Aquaman or whatever, I would say 90s Wolverine for me.
Okay.
When he had his own book and was running, and
With bone claws and no nose.
that was later. That was late 90s. He still had the claws and was kicking ass. That's.
No, you either get bone claws or nothing.
Hey, still Bone Claws Wolverine was still pretty badass. I mean, that healing factor, he was pretty crazy.
He almost made my list.
I mean, he ran.
I don't know why he didn't have a nose, though.
I don't know either. They turned him into like an animal for a while. There was kind of bad.
feral.
Yeah, he
Makes
was
your
really
nose
feral.
disappear.
Yeah.
All right, let's guess yours. This should be easy. I'm gonna go with one of the Powerpuff Girls,
Yes, Buttercup.
Buttercup for
Buttercup, or AKA Thanos.
sure. Yeah.
I mean, yes, it is Thanos.
Baron Karza's more of a badass.
Ken don't like this game when we get to this one.
He murdered half the universe because the person he was in love with felt that there needed balance.
Yeah,
I think that was just,
because he was a lovesick little puppy dog.
and he was able to track down. I don't know.
My issue with Thanos as a badass is like he had all this power, but like I never seen him like get down and dirty and tough. I guess
I feel like in the Infinity Gauntlet miniseries he did.
it was like so easy for him. You know what I mean? He never really challenged. How many people really challenged Thanos and made him like actually sweat? Like, Brock's talking Daredevil. Like Daredevil took on like a whole group of ninjas and really back against the wall. Like Thanos it's so easy for him.
I don't think there's a way that you get down and dirty. You have to outsmart him.
Yeah, because he's so powerful.
Yeah.
Didn't he beat himself a lot of the times though?
Well, he's
He's a
With
lonely
the gauntlet.
He's a lonely guy. Yeah, you do a lot of beating yourself too.
When you're in the void of space, Justin, and you're lonely, you haven't got the reality gem with you.
All right, Thanos. Anybody have any honorable mentions?
I had a couple.
Go ahead.
Namor,
Yeah,
Black Adam.
yeah.
I think that was the only two that were on the fence for me.
I had Spawn,
I was thinking Spawn.
Cable, and Wonder Woman.
I was going to do Spawn. I actually thought the Hulk. The Hulk was going to make
Spawn's
my
a
list.
good one. He just didn't make my list, but he's a good badass.
I actually kicked Spawn. Rorschach kicked Spawn out of my list. I was like,
Who were some of your honorable?
Wolverine almost made my list. I thought about Spawn.
Jesus.
I came up with I
the original
legit
badass.
came up with
Yeah.
with three that I wanted to do, and Invincible was on that list.
yeah.
And then I did go out and look at like comic badasses, and I started
I knew
looking
you did.
through.
I just had to. I knew it. That's
I
where
don't-
Punisher came from.
I don't have the
He knows who Punisher is.
no. It was Punisher, Invincible, and maybe Blade. I think were the three that I wanted to do because I thought they were kind of different. And then I was looking for I totally stole Negan from somebody's list.
Yeah. Do you believe this one's gone 35 minutes? So this
Wow.
top 5? Talking about this shit for this
Shows that
long?
we can talk about anything.
We can talk some shit for a long time.
Give
especially
us
in
numbers
recent-
and lists.
Again, we'll ask you, but you won't. What are your badasses? Leave them in the comments below.
Baron Karza.
Baron Karza.
Baron
Megatron's
Corbin.
a good one. I didn't have Megatron. That's because Megatron I don't think is comic book. I always think of... I wouldn't know it. You know what I mean? I always put
Yeah.
him in cartoon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think. I would think Soundwave's more of a badass.
They
than
existed in the
Megatron.
Marvel Universe for a
Yeah,
little
I know
while.
they did. I just always forget about him in that nature, in that light. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Please, everyone, like, share, subscribe, invite, tell your friends.
And like your best badass, Ken Frederick. Suspenders McGee. Good night.
Later.
Oh.